If y'all can't tell, I have been on my conspiracy theory shit, so y'all definitely need to subscribe to the channel because I got at least 20 more I'll be dropping in the next 2 months. I know, it's been a long 2 weeks, but your girl is back for another video for you guys because y'all have been blowing up my email and my comment section begging for more. So here I am. What's good in the YouTube hood? It's your girl, Luna Nova, aka the Mystic Muse, and I am back with another video for you guys today. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Here on the Mystic Muse, we talk about all things spiritual, paranormal, alien activity, conspiracy theories, just going down the rabbit hole of it all. So if you're new here, make sure you go ahead and hit that notification bell and subscribe to the channel because you're gonna wanna see more after this. Because here on this channel, we dive into the unseen and unspoken. So if you found this topic interesting and want to hear more, definitely go ahead and grab your drink, get you something cozy, and go ahead and light a candle. Get real set in, because we're about to dive in. Now, if you don't know what Mandela Effects are, I'm going to go by a very loose definition, so don't get in the comments talking about, oh, that's not a Mandela Effect. This is what I understand to be a Mandela Effect, okay? If you have a different understanding of it, leave it down in the comments and let's talk about it. But my understanding of a Mandela Effect is a collective memory or understanding of something that is wiped from history. Now, some of you may say that a Mandela Effect is a false collective memory that a lot of people have, and I beg to differ. As I said, I believe that it is a collective memory that has been wiped from history because a lot of people can bring up proof of a lot of these Mandela effects that are not real. So how do you argue with irrefutable, tangible evidence of what we know to be the truth? As I'm recording and seeing 111, Spirit is coming through like, yes, this is the time. Let's talk about it.
14 Mandela Effects that make you doubt the past. Alexander Hamilton never served as the President of the United States. He was actually the first Secretary of the Treasury. Disney's Mickey Mouse character has a tail. Curious George has never had a tail. Some people remember different numbers of rings around the bullseye in the Target logo, but the one on the left is the correct one. The Berenstain Bears are actually called the Berenstain Bears. The Raisin Bran son doesn't wear sunglasses. There's no hyphen in the name of Kit Kat chocolate bars. In I Love Lucy, Ricky never actually said, "Lucy, you got some splainin' to do." Shaggy from Scooby-Doo doesn't have a prominent Adam's apple. The song from Grease is actually Greased Lightnin', not Grease Lightnin'. Jiffy peanut butter doesn't exist. It's Cheez-It, not Cheez-Its. It's Captain Crunch, not Captain Crunch. Those onion ring snacks are called Funyuns, not Funyuns. Which of these facts shocked you?
Because as I said before, I don't know what it is about the US government, and I was just talking with my partner about this the other day. I am waiting for them to go ahead and drop a documentary to explain how they literally experimented with the US public's mental. Like, they are really trying to convince us that certain things did not happen. And it's much deeper than them changing the name on children's books, AKA the Berenstain Bears. Because yes, it was the Berenstain Bears. I don't know how they pronounce it now, but it's always been the Berenstain Bears. I don't care what anybody says. Like I said, it's much deeper than just making subtle changes. I honestly and truly and wholeheartedly believe if the American government can trick the public people into brainwashing them into having certain memories that were not there or vice versa, just think about what else they could honestly change. Think about what else they can brainwash us into believing or not believing. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm the type of conspiracy theorist that if I'm gonna have a conspiracy theory, which don't even get me started on the term conspiracy theory because it was created by the government to try and play in our faces, but I digress. They are really trying to convince us and again, brainwash us into having certain collective memories that did not happen because it fuels them. It fuels them because again, if they can convince the public that a certain thing did or did not happen, just imagine what they can do with history. They can literally erase history right in front of our faces and convince us, no, that never happened. And a lot of people would honestly believe it. Why? Because y'all believe too heavily in other people's word and the government. I cannot stress enough, the government is not your friend. All these public servants are supposed to be just that, a public servant, a servant to the public people, and they are completely the opposite. Have we not seen what just happened with United Healthcare? Again, don't get me started. That needs a separate video on its own, which if y'all want to see that, let me know down in the comments.
Fruit Loops is not spelt Fruit Loops. It's spelt Fruit Loops. The Mandela Effect is gonna have you second guessing some things. Cruella never wore a Dalmatian coat. Her coat was always plain. Another Mandela Effect is the Coca-Cola logo. Now we all know it has a dash, but which dash is the correct one? Just when I thought I was right, I got it wrong. Fun fact, Coca-Cola actually had coca in it. I'm talking booger sugar. If you ever watched Scooby-Doo, then you will remember that Shaggy had a big Adam's apple. Now when you look at those same episodes, you realize that it was never there, which bugged me out so much that I made it my life goal to find it. Although he could have just been swallowing, pause, I know I'm not the only one with these Mandela effects. So it's either they didn't put their devices on high, or people just out here tripping.
Now again, a Mandela effect is something that you know for a fact is something that happened in the past or maybe even recently. And one of those things that I could see being the next Mandela effect is going to be January 6th. We already have seen in just a short amount of time since January 6th that they have tried to literally change what that day was. And let's just call a spade a spade. It was chaos. It was a riot. It was madness. It was madness. But they're trying to make it seem that it was protesters and heroic people standing up for the red, white, and blue. Bullshit. That was a riot. That was them trying to overthrow the government. Granted, they went about it the wrong way because technically, according to the Constitution, we, the public people, have the right to overthrow the government if it is not serving us. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Take that. Please. Not with a grain of salt. Take it. Because y'all need to know and understand y'all's rights before we don't have them anymore. But again, I digress.
I know you've heard of the Mandela Effect, and if you haven't, please look it up. Now, with Mandela Effects, a lot of times this stuff rolls right off my back. You know, it is what it is. It's not moving me. But there's one Mandela Effect that really gets to me. Like, really gets to me because it's just so ridiculous. And that Mandela Effect is going to have to be the JFK assassination. And I'm going to tell you why. This Mandela Effect went into, play probably 4 years ago. But I remember it only being 3 people in that car. That middle row did not exist. And let's be real. How many cars have y'all seen that got rows like that? What kind of car is this? It's what? A minivan, sedan? It was the driver, Jackie, and JFK in the car. Not that middle row. So this middle row is, at the time, this was a Texas senator and his wife. And I don't know. I just never seen a car like this. And this is not what it was given when I was taught this in school. This is not CERN. What's going on? Is it CERN? Is this a CERN thing? This will be a CERN thing. Now, y'all explain to me why the car in the museum only has 2 rows like I remember it, right? But all the photos have these magic 3 rows. Y'all messed up with this one, CERN. Y'all didn't do y'all due diligence. Y'all didn't scrub it down right because y'all left some remnants of the past when y'all switched it up. Y'all left y'all remnants. Y'all left some crumbs behind. Because what is this? This how I remember it. Do you?
Now, a lot of people may understand and sometimes make the mistake of thinking that a Mandela effect is deja vu. And they technically are 2 different things, but can happen simultaneously to show you proof that a Mandela effect has happened. For example, if you eat Jif peanut butter, you probably remember as a kid eating the different little snack and go cups or making your own Jif and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches as a kid with your parents or whatever parental guardian, or maybe even just making it for yourself. But you know for a fact how that label was spelled. But when you go into the grocery store or when you see a recent commercial of it, it looks totally different and it sends you into a state of deja vu, putting you back in that timeline or that mind frame of when you originally saw or experienced having that peanut butter. You know for a fact that it was spelled a certain way, but in the timeline that we exist in now, it's different.
See, this is one of those Mandela effects that really pisses me off. Because as a kid in the 80s, watching Scooby-Doo on a Saturday afternoon or after school, it was completely my guilty pleasure. I always had to sneak to watch Scooby-Doo and the Smurfs because my family were Jehovah's Witnesses and we weren't allowed to watch those cartoons. Oh, but I did. I watched the hell out of those cartoons. Some of my favorites. And we couldn't watch the Smurfs because there was mysticism and witchcraft involved. And, ghosts with Scooby-Doo. Even though I would tell my parents all the time, it's no, at the end, they're mystery solvers. At the end, it's usually always some guy in a suit who's making pretend. didn't matter. It was like the whole premise of it. But anyway, I digress. I'm getting on to my religious trauma here. Shaggy, I know for a fact, always had that Adam's apple. And now, it's gone. It's gone. No Adam's apple. And just like it says in this comment, it used to move up and down when he was scared or when he was talking. Now, nothing. Nothing. No Adam's apple. Where did it go? Why? And what's the reason? So that is not the case anymore. I'll even show you the animated version of it. And this is like the old school 80s version that we would watch as kids. Not the one that they got going on today. This is from, let me just show you.
Who had to stay and see Star,
What is
Dog
this?
Ranger of the North Woods, twice?
Where the frick did it go? Let
Who
me show
had
you
to
again.
stay and see Star, Dog Ranger of the North Woods?
I know. It's wild. Bugs me out. Pisses me off. Because there are too many of these things. There are too many of these Mandela effects that remove little things. For what reason? It's supposed to be something subtle for us to realize that there was not some sort of a timeline shift. Whatever, I don't know. But I don't like it. I don't like any of them. And there's so many that the list just goes on. And I'm sure more will be added as the days and the years go by. But anywho, the timeline shifts are shifting a lot lately, and I would like for them to stop. That's all. Just slow down.
And if you couldn't tell from the title of this video, today we are going to go into the enigma of Mandela effects. And I decided to choose this one because apparently there is a new Mandela effect that I know for a fact I'm not tripping about. I know for a fact in school we learned about US history. And apparently the new Mandela effect is the fact that the national bird is the bald eagle. They just announced that the US national bird is the bald eagle. And I could have sworn for the life of me that I learned this as a jit back in elementary school. But no, apparently it's a new thing. It never happened. So the collective that honestly knows with their mind, body, soul, and spirit that the national bird was the bald eagle. No, we've all been making it up. It's made up. It never happened. It just happened 2-3 days ago.
These 3 Mandela effects from kids shows are about to make you so mad. Don't say I didn't warn you. The first one is Mr. Rogers. Why they gotta mess with Mr. Rogers? If you've ever watched the show, then you know. It starts out with, "It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood." Except no, it doesn't. Not in our current reality. In our current reality, it's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. Yeah, this, not the. Like, what do you mean, this neighborhood? I don't even live in that neighborhood. I just think the neighborhood because it's everybody's neighborhood. So yeah, if you remember it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, not this neighborhood, then you probably jumped into the same parallel reality that I did. And then we've got Arthur, everybody's favorite aardvark on PBS. Another theme song. Hey, what a wonderful kind of day where we can learn to laugh and play and get along with each other. Except they never said laugh and play. The line in our current reality has always been work and play, where we can learn to work and play. Those kids aren't working. I mean, the brain had a job at that ice cream shop at that one time, but like that's not the point. So if you remember laugh and play and not work and play, then you jumped into the same parallel reality as I did. And finally, we have Lamb Chop. This is the song that never ends, 'cause it goes on and on, my friend. Did that sound familiar? If it did, then you're not from this current reality, are you? Because here, it's the song that doesn't end, not the song that never ends. That's an important distinction, and I'm mad about it. So which ones of these did you remember? I need to know.
Now, of course, if you really think about it, the Mandela Effect also ties into understanding that we are living in multiple universes, within multiple universes, within multiple universes, and so on and so forth. I talked about this in one of my other videos about how Doctor Strange, the movie, truly got it right with so many things are happening simultaneously within other universes. That is the reason why you get deja vu. That is the reason why we have Mandela effects, because collectively, conscious-wise, we are jumping from different dimensions into new ones. Now, the real question is this something spiritual? Is this something psychological? Or is it something totally different altogether? Let me know what y'all think. Because honestly, in my opinion, I feel like it's a little bit of both. I honestly feel like it's a message from our ancestors to say, you're not crazy. This is what it is. You're not making it up. This is a honest memory that you're having. And I'm going to remind you of the memory that you're having. And for those of you who don't believe in spirituality, what about quantum physics? What about quantum leaping? Something that has been literally proven by the government. There are unclassified CIA documents showing proof of quantum leaping, quantum jumping, whatever you want to call it, remote viewing. I mean, it goes on and on and on.
I have another Mandela effect that's going to blow your mind. This time it's about the Macarena. Yes, the dance that everybody knows, everybody's danced it, everybody's heard the Macarena before. Just to go over it quickly, the Macarena. Correct or incorrect? To me, that's how I remember the Macarena dance. Well, the Mandela effect is at it again. That's not how the Macarena dance is danced. 2 of the original videos of the Macarena dance that came out in the early 1990s now have a different dance. It's pretty much similar, but there's a few steps that are left out. Check it out. So as you can see, the steps going from here to this, and then the cross across the chest, that doesn't exist anymore. Again, one of the original videos released in the early 90s showcasing the Macarena dance, and those steps are missing. I need you to let me know in the comments, what version of the dance do you remember? Do you remember it with the arms crossed, or does that step never exist? Here's the weird thing though. When you look up the Macarena dance on YouTube, almost all of the tutorials that show you how to dance the Macarena have the crossed arms. Done some research into where the Macarena dance came from, and the first time that the Macarena dance came out was that first video that I showed you. And you would think that the Macarena dance would be based on the dance that originally came out for the song. So what happened? Make sure you tell me what you think in the comments, like this video, and follow me for more crazy Mandela effects. It's time to wake up. Stay blessed.
Now, we all know that the reason why the government is trying to ban TikTok here in America is not about a data breach. They do plenty of that on their own. Have y'all not experienced what just happened with AT&T? Because I definitely was affected by it. Definitely claimed fraud on all that shit because I didn't give y'all permission to that information. But I digress. The best way to be able to keep track of these things, because it's gonna happen, because history has a funny way of repeating itself, is to keep a log of these things. Start writing certain things down. If you notice certain things changing, take pictures, take videos. If you have a physical, tangible something to hold on to, put it in a certain place that's kept safe away from other people. So when this information is found, when these things are found again, there is historical proof versus what they're trying to convince us of what happened and what is.
If you remember watching Shazam in the 90s with Sinbad the actor, well, the movie never existed.
You all remember a movie called Shazam with Sinbad playing a genie?
You know what? The movie was never real. It was, the rumor started in 2009. I don't know where it came from, but it's not real.
Millions of people remember watching this movie, but it never existed. Apparently, it's a Mandela Effect, a collective false memory of something that a lot of people remember, but it never happened. Just like, for instance, the Mandela Effects of the Monopoly guy with the monocle, the Berenstain Bears with an E, and George the Monkey with the tail. These things never happened. And the thing is, I recently found videos of people who actually have a VHS tape of the Shazam.
I still don't understand the whole issue with this movie Shazam, with Sinbad.
If it never existed, how come a lot of people still have the VHS tape? Are we in a different timeline? Time travel? Parallel universe? What's going on?
But yet, it never existed.
Strange, isn't it? But it gets even stranger. I found an original scene from the Shazam movie. In it, several Mandela effects.
What are you doing? Dad could have thrown out all of Mom's stuff. He just could have. be something he forgot here. Something real we can remember her by.
George, the monkey with the tail. What?
Hey, we have our memories. They're real. No one can take that from us. Yeah. Clean this up. Can you imagine if Dad saw this mess?
Really hooked on them.
Bless you. What is that?
Berenstein Bears with an E. What? Nelson Mandela dead at 68. What?
Took you long enough, Tina? Wait, y'all are not Tina.
Kidnapper! Wait, you know her mom?
To make me my own dinosaur.
Last but not least, Carmen Sandiego with a yellow suit. Why would someone leave so many Mandela effects inside of a movie that never existed? What is going on here? Time travel or what?
So hold on to those old t-shirts, hold on to those old product labels, hold on to anything that you can show any kind of proof, because this is going to happen again, whether it be with your kids' kids, it doesn't matter. Just know one thing that the government can never do is take away our memories. I don't care what nobody says. It doesn't matter how much fluoride they try to put in the water. It doesn't matter how many things that they put out there to try to calcify that pineal gland. We know what is real. We know what is true. We know what our memories are. So if you are not tapped into your spiritual team, whether it's your ancestors, different orishas, different deities, whatever your spiritual path is and or lineage, tap into that, because those ancestors, that spiritual team, will definitely guide you on the right path to say, no, this is what it is.
Y'all, this Mandela Effect stuff is getting weird. I just ran across the Mandela Effect that literally, I don't even know what to think. At some point, you just have to look at these and be like, yeah, like this is just not right. Because there's no way this one is. And if you're an 80s or 90s baby like me, you know damn well this ain't right. So before we get into it, make sure you like, follow, and share to support your girl. Now, let's get into it, y'all. So like I said, if you're an 80s or 90s baby, you're immediately going to know this is wrong. And of course, I'm talking about the movie E.T. In this movie, there's a specific line that E.T. says. He learns the words home and phone, and he says, E.T. phone home. That simple, right? Well, look at this clip.
E.T. home phone.
That's not right. It's E.T. phone home. I know it is. There's nothing you can say to convince me it's not. But what's even weirder is listen to what they say after he says that.
E.T. phone home. E.T. phone home. E.T. phone home.
So you're telling me that E.T. said the wrong words, but the kids repeated the right words to him. Okay, that's what we're doing. Yeah, no, it's E.T. phone home. How would the kids know to say that if it wasn't? So why they change his words and not theirs too? What do y'all remember? Because I know I ain't the only one.
As you can see from the example videos that I'm using today, there are a lot of collective memories and experiences that we all remember having. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I personally had a kidney infection when I was in my late teens. I believe I was 19, I was almost 20. And I remember having extreme pain in my very lower back. Very lower back, like right at the top of my, you know what? All right, I remember that pain because it was excruciating. Literally had me doubled over. Couldn't walk, couldn't drink, couldn't keep nothing down. Like, I know what I experienced because it landed me in the hospital for 3 weeks, having to take heparin shots every 5 hours, sending fire up my ass. But I think it's funny how now all of a sudden, anatomy-wise, they're saying our kidneys are in a different spot than what I know where I was feeling physical pain at. This is what I mean by they are literally trying to play in our faces. How are you going to tell me that our kidneys are in a place where they're not, when I definitely felt and experienced the pain, almost had to have surgery for it? I think I would know where my kidneys are.
Are you from the old timeline or are you from the new timeline? Let me ask you, where is your heart? Okay, so let's talk about these Mandela effects that had me freaking out for a long time. Apparently, the heart is no longer on the left side of the chest. It's straight in the middle. If you don't believe me, Google it. And if you are saying it's always been the middle, well, you're from the new timeline. In our old world, our heart was on the left. Okay, you ready for the next one? Our kidneys. In our old timeline, our kidneys were in our lower back. In the new timeline, the new world, the kidneys are up, almost behind the lungs. I know, it's insane. And whoever's from the new timeline, please stop saying it's always been there. No, you're new. Our two worlds merged together between May and September of last year. Now, I truly think that when the CERN turned on the kaleidoscope and they were monkeying around with the God particle, I think they shifted us in a new timeline and we merged. Some of us are from old Earth and some of us are from new Earth. The way I distinguish one and the other is I ask people, where is your heart? If they say in the center and it's always been there, like they're convinced of it, they're from the new timeline. If they say it's on the left, okay, you're my homie. You're from the old timeline, from the old world, what I call the real world. I just posted a few videos. You'll find them all in my CERN playlist, explaining how CERN and these God particles and these atoms and this machine and all this stuff can literally not only push us in other timelines, creating other worlds in this vast multiverse of infinite planets and timelines, but it could technically, literally change our DNA structure. And that's what I'm seeing. That's what we're seeing with these Mandela effects. Now, don't freak out and feel bad if someone says the heart is in the center, it's always been there, and you're looking at them as a relative and you realize that's not the person from the old Earth, because this is, the two entities did merge together, so we are always the same, more or less. On the other hand, you have people that have completely changed. People that we have known all of our lives all of a sudden are completely different. If somebody was mean before, now they're really nice, vice versa, things like that. It's absolutely insane. Why aren't we checking up on CERN? Because I'm convinced it's their fault. Is it good? Is it bad?
So whether it's the location of your kidneys, your heart, because I don't care what nobody says, your heart is more to the left, naturally, unless you have some type of condition or something to where it leans more towards the right. But I don't care what nobody says, your heart has never been in the center. If you're from that timeline, you're new here. You heard the lady, you're new here. Sit down. I say all that to say, know that you are not crazy, you are seen and you are heard. These Mandela effects are just the tricky way that the government tries to play with our minds. And like I keep expressing to everyone and anyone who is willing to listen, I'm waiting for that documentary to drop. What documentary, Luna? The documentary that they're going to drop to say that the American people were played with mentally, emotionally, financially, physically, spiritually. We were played with for decades, hundreds of years, just for government gain, for greed, political coercion, like all of it, we were played with. And I can't wait until the United Nations steps in so they can finally sue the American government for crimes against humanity and the public people that they are supposed to be serving. I'm telling you right now, when they come back and they finally say these things, y'all can call me a conspiracy theorist all you want to, but I know what I know, and I know what I know in my mind, my spirit, and in my third eye, what I see. I don't know about y'all, but I see it happening.
This is a Mandela Effect I found recently. Okay. I feel like we all know this one, but we might not remember.
I say all that to say, watch out for those Mandela effects. If you are aware of any other Mandela effects, please leave it down in the comments, because again, to my knowledge, the newest one is the one about the national bird here in the US of A. I don't know about you guys, but these Mandela effects, I feel like they're popping up left and right because they're trying to convince us of something else, because whatever they're working on right now is much deeper and much darker. Keep all your eyes open for what they plan on doing next. But all right, y'all, I'm finna go ahead and get out of here so I can go ahead and get another video up for you guys. So make sure that you are only in contact with me here on YouTube, my Etsy page, or via my email, which you can find on my page and in the description of this video. But as always, make sure you drink your water, mind your business, and stay prayed up and protected. And as always, Luna loves you. And side note, y'all are smoking crack. I saw Tinkerbell. I saw her. Y'all are on that booger sugar because I saw her do her little ding at the beginning of them Disney movies, and y'all can kiss my ass if y'all think otherwise. I said what I said. Yeah. Trying to make us look crazy, and I won't be labeled as crazy. No!